to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Week 12. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Danny. Already changing your picks, I see. That's fine. Well, should we get into the heartbreaker that we watched on Sunday?
No.
No? You want to just pass on it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll have to talk about it when we get to the Bears-Vikings game. Yeah. What did you think of the Vikings game, though, against Tennessee?
Well, I know they won, of course.
Yeah.
Was it a blowout?
Well, 23 to...
I didn't watch a lot of that.
23 to 13.
I mostly watched the Lions game.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You liked watching that 52
Blowout.
to 6? That's got to be the biggest blowout of the season. Okay, in the 3 o'clock games, though, did you watch the game of the day, the Chiefs and the Bills?
I was in a restaurant, and when I saw Patrick Mahomes throw that interception, like with a minute left or 2 minutes left, I was like, yes!
Yeah? What did anybody else in the restaurant? How did they react?
Well, our waitress was like, kind of giggling.
Okay, funny. So yeah, we got the outcome we wanted, or that we expected to happen. I think that we wanted. And then did you see that last Josh Allen touchdown run? That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Just where he just juked everybody and bowled over everybody. Nobody was going to tackle him there. Well, I have a lot of good news for you with the picks from last week.
Good.
You picked another exact score. Colts 28, Jets 27.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've picked 2 right games. The other right game also was the Colts. You picked Colts 20, Tennessee 17. So the Colts are like your lucky team. You kind of have a good read on them. And are picking the scores exactly right for 2 of their games.
Where are the Colts playing? Oh.
Right there. Ooh. Well, you could still guess the score right.
Yeah.
Colts don't have to win, right? Okay, so straight up, just picking winners last week, you only missed 2 games.
Which?
You missed San Francisco. They lost to Seattle.
Oh. Yeah.
I lost that one too. And we both lost the Bengals against the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because the Chargers won late. And I missed 2 other games. So you were 2 games better than me, picking winners. I now have 111 wins. You have 107 wins. You're only 4 back. Against
How about the point spread?
point spread, I had a better week than you did last week. We both won more games than we lost. But you have 87 wins and I have 83 wins against the point spread. So I'm 4 ahead of you I'm 4 ahead of you picking winners. You're 4 ahead of me against the spread. And Grandpa last week did the same as me picking winners, so worse than you. And he actually had a losing record picking against the spread last week. So, I mean, man, you picked the right score of a game. You picked 12 winners and only 2 losers last week. You were on fire. Are you ready to stay on fire here week 12?
Hopefully.
I thought there were kind of a lot of easy games to pick. I don't know that we're going to be different on too many, but we'll see. I think I only picked 1 upset. So why don't we start with the Thursday night game that doesn't look good, but is a game between division rivals.
Steelers-Browns.
Yeah, the Steelers kicked 6 field goals, scored no touchdowns, but beat the Ravens. Now they have a 2-game lead in the AFC North in their first place.
The Ravens made a lot of mistakes that game.
Missed field goals.
A lot of fumbles.
Yeah, I saw Lamar Jackson also threw an interception, but that was really on the receiver's fault. It was right in his hands, and the defensive back just like took it right from him. I thought Jackson put the ball right on the money, but yeah, you're right. The Ravens did make a lot of mistakes, and you know what? Pittsburgh, they just kept kicking field goals, and that was good enough. You know, you let the other team make a bunch of mistakes, don't screw up yourself, and sometimes that's good enough to win. Cleveland, boy, I feel bad because on my old fantasy teams from a few years ago, one of my favorite players was Nick Chubb. He's their running back.
He's decent.
He was great. He was great before he got injured. For the first 6 years of his career, he averaged 5 yards a carry or more, which is awesome for a running back.
Wow.
This year, he's down to only 3 yards a carry. And you wonder if he's ever going to be the guy that he used to be. Cleveland certainly needs him to be, but I don't know if he's going to get there. And they've, of course, got quarterback problems as well for the Browns. So, do you think Pittsburgh continues building their lead in the AFC North here with another W?
Mhm.
Yeah, I do too.
My score is Steelers 28, Browns 17.
Okay. I'm going to go with Steelers 20 and Browns 13. So we both have the Steelers covering the point spread. All right, we're going to have to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room, but it's also the first game to talk about on Sunday, so let's get it out of the way.
Vikings, Bears.
Yeah, the Vikings, I didn't watch a ton of that game, but I was watching Red Zone, so I saw a lot of the highlights and the important plays. It seemed like the Vikings just shut down the Titans, except for one 98-yard pass. Levis threw a pass to, I think it was Akina Westbrook, I think was his name.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was, I think it was a pretty long pass, and then there was just nobody to tackle him.
Mm-hmm.
So he went the whole way.
I remember a play like that, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott, I think, was in the end zone.
Oh, wow.
And he just threw a bomber to CeeDee Lamb.
Deep ball.
Got a touchdown.
And Jefferson had one from Darnold earlier this year, too. I think it was against maybe the 49ers or Texans. It was one of their first couple games, and it was at home. Okay, so the Bears. They were competitive. I mean, they battled, right? They fought hard.
Pretty good.
Caleb Williams had one of his better games.
Except for the kicker.
See, and I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that because
they blocked it.
They blocked it. The Bears coach thinks it was an illegal play. You're not supposed to be able to shove the long snapper. He's supposed to be protected. And the Packers kind of hit him like right in the head, right when the snap was made. So there could have been a flag called. I don't know if there should have been a flag. But I'm not going to blame the kicker necessarily because the Bears also, they settled for 2 field goals earlier in the game when they could have tried to score touchdowns. So, come on offense. And then the defense, Jordan Love threw way too many deep balls. It was just too easy. He was getting huge chunks of yards. And other than one interception, the Bears couldn't really stop it. So there's a lot of blame to go around on, why they lost. The good thing is Caleb Williams played better. And honestly, at this point of the season, I just want Williams to look good. If they lose games, so what? They're not going anywhere. They're not going to the playoffs. I heard they have a 1% chance to make the playoffs. So that's a 99% chance to miss the playoffs. Quinn, do not come in here. The door is like booby trapped. I don't know if she'll be able to get in, but we'll see. Come on, Quinn. Whatever. Okay, let's continue. What do you think will happen in this NFC North showdown?
I think the Bears will battle.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they can stop the 8-2 Vikings.
I don't really either. Okay. Your mom's to the rescue. She's gonna fix it. So you don't think the you don't think the Bears can really hang? You think they'll fight hard? Who do you think's gonna be the touchdown maker for the purple? Who's gonna be the star at the end of the game?
Aaron Jones.
Oh, you think they're gonna run all over the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
They have not been very good against the run lately. I will say that. So, and Aaron
I think
Jones.
they're gonna throw it to him.
Yeah, Aaron Jones has killed the Bears in the past. When he was on the Packers, I don't know the numbers, but he was awesome against the Bears, and it hurt me to have to watch that. So.
Well, now he's on a team that I like.
Yeah, he is. So you can be a fan of him. You know. What do you think? What do you got for a score?
Vikings 31, Bears 30.
Oh, okay. Well, boy, so you're expecting our hearts, or at least my heart, to be broken.
And I'm
Well,
a Bears fan.
yeah, but you'll be able to do this for the Vikings at least. I will not.
I'm going to the same game, but on Monday Night Football.
In Minnesota. That's going to be a fun game. I heard the Vikings are wearing all white uniforms and a white helmet.
Really?
They're new jerseys, new uniforms just for that game.
Yay.
Yeah, I think they call it ice white or something. So it'll be kind of cool.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, boy, I'm going to take the Vikings. I'm going to take it close because usually the Bears and Vikings play close games. I'll say Vikings 20, Bears 17. I will be heartbroken once more, but hey, move it along. Just look good, Caleb Williams. You know,
There's
it'll be.
a chance you won't be heartbroken.
There's a
But
chance.
not a big chance.
I don't think it's a great chance. I mean, what, the Vikings are 3.5 point favorites. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not optimistic. Okay, this game is not great, but it's between NFC teams.
Buccaneers, Giants.
Yeah, both teams are coming off their bye week. Tampa Bay can get within one game of the Falcons in the NFC South if they win. Because Atlanta doesn't play. The Giants are the worst team in the NFC right now. They're 2-8. And I don't know if you heard, Danny Dimes benched.
Not surprised.
Benched all the way from the first quarterback to he is now the fourth quarterback. He has played his last play, I think, for the Giants. He will never get in again.
Ever?
So I think next year he's going to be looking for a new team.
Wow.
I think the Giants are just saying, nope, we're done. Do you remember the guy who played for them last year, Tommy DeVito?
Oh, yeah.
He's back in there. He's their starter. He had some moments where they won games, but I don't know that he's ready for a real game, which he's going to get thrown into in this one. I show Tampa Bay as 5.5 point favorites.
Me too.
So, how do you see this game shaking out with Baker Mayfield versus Tommy DeVito?
Of course, I'm picking Buccaneers because Giants aren't good.
Right.
27-17.
I'm pretty close to you, and I've got Tampa Bay also covering the point spread. Tampa Bay 24, New York Football Giants 16. And we roll on to...
A horrible game. Well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a good game for one team.
It looks like it, yeah.
Kind of almost looks like a blowout.
I think so.
Chiefs, Panthers.
Yeah. Super Bowl team of last year versus the worst team from last year.
That's last year.
That was last year, not this year. So, I mean, maybe that's not true. They're getting maybe Kansas City might not be the best team and Carolina might not be the worst team, but there's still a pretty wide gap.
Oh.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm changing my last four teams.
Oh, let's hear it.
Final four.
Let's hear it.
Lions.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, I was thinking I would do the same thing if I was given the chance.
Chiefs.
Chiefs still.
And
Oh, you gotta stick with your Super Bowl team from the AFC, don't you? Are you giving up on them?
yeah, I guess Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yeah.
Okay, so you switched up one of your teams from last week. I know you were thinking about, Chiefs or Bills. So even though the Chiefs lost, you're going with the Chiefs? Okay. Yeah, I would probably flop the Eagles for the 49ers right now. I think the Eagles are playing very good football.
The 49ers, not so much.
No, we'll get to them a little later because they play at 3 o'clock in a big game. Yeah, big game. Kansas City. So Josh Allen out-dueled Patrick Mahomes, and Kansas City took their first loss of the year. The Panthers, they've actually won 2 games in a row against the Saints and Giants, so let's not get crazy, but it's 2 wins. And Bryce Young seems to be playing better. You watched a lot of that game against the Giants in Germany.
Hubbard did good.
Chuba Hubbard, they're just feed him. You know, that's the thing when you have a good running back, and I wish the Bears would do this more often with Swift. It's just like, run the ball. You can't get sacked. You can't throw an interception. You can't have an incomplete pass if you just run. I am a guy who wants to see teams run the football. Because like a team like Carolina, you can kind of hide your quarterback a little bit if you just feed Hubbard. And think about it. If you feed Hubbard and then all of a sudden it's 3rd and 1 and the defense is like, we got to stop Hubbard. We got to stop Hubbard. Well, then how about a little fake to Hubbard and Bryce Young? Oh, he's wide open. So the running game can help the passing game. So not the biggest blowout of the year, but 11 points is a big spread.
I have a bigger blowout. Well, I might change mine.
You're going to change it a little bit? Okay.
It was 48-21.
That's a big, big blowout. You're going to give Carolina a little bit more credit, maybe? Or are you going higher?
Okay, Chiefs 31, Panthers 21.
Okay, so you're going to actually have the Panthers covering the 11-point spread by only losing by 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Chiefs by 13. I will say Kansas City 30 and Carolina 17.
I'm not changing my score.
You just
making that.
Yeah, there was a little light. Okay, here's a game between NFC East rivals, which I bet at the beginning of the season you would have said,
blowout.
well, I bet I would have said one of these teams is going to be good and one of them is going to be bad, and I would have been wrong. I would have mixed them up.
Well, last year I probably would have said blowout.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys.
I think so. Who is playing?
Cowboys, Commanders.
Yeah, Dallas just blasted by the Texans on Monday night. In Dallas again. The Cowboys are now 0-5 at home. And they have been, listen to this stat, they have been losing every single game at home by at least 20 points at some point during the game.
Wow.
So they didn't lose every game by 20, but they have been losing sometime during every single home game.
That's horrible.
Pathetic. Just how, even if you don't have Dak Prescott, it's just, you're just getting wasted every single game at home. Imagine those fans. If they bought tickets to every game, you have to watch that garbage every Sunday. It's like, what did I spend my hard-earned money for? Cowboys fans have to be just bumming.
I'm glad I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, me too. Not that the Bears season has been that great either. But
If you were a Cowboys fan, you would probably just give up on the Cowboys by now.
Maybe. You know, they won 3 Super Bowls when I was like a teenager and in my early 20s. So they were like
But they
one of the
had
best
Troy
teams.
Aikman.
Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders for a little
They
bit of
were
it.
better with those players.
Yeah. Troy Aikman's not walking through that door. He's not playing on Sunday against Washington. Talking about the Commanders, they're now a game and a half behind the Eagles, who are red hot in the NFC East after 2 straight losses. I think the Commanders were 7-2, and now they're 7-4. You could give Dallas a loss. They're 3-7 now. And if Houston's on that, you could give Houston a win also. So I show the Commanders as 10-point favorites. against their arch rivals, or one of their rivals, I would say. What do you expect to happen in, where do they play? Landover, Maryland? Somewhere like that? I'm not sure where they play.
Washington.
Well,
Washington.
they don't, I think their stadium is somewhere in around there. They don't actually play in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Well, I have the Commanders.
As do I.
Not surprisingly.
No.
28-20.
Okay, so you got the Cowboys covering. I'll take the Commanders to cover 30-16. So we have no different winners yet. We have a couple that were different on the point spread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, another division game. It's not the best game, but
Patriots Dolphins.
yeah. I guess I went off my do I have to pick the Dolphins as one of my final four teams? I guess I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go Dolphins, Bills, Eagles, Lions instead of Niners, Lions. But okay, New England. Drake May. What did I have here? Okay, Drake May was okay, but the defense was just diced apart by Matthew Stafford. 4 touchdowns for the Rams against the Patriots. So the Patriots look like they have pretty bad pass defense. Well, look out, because here comes Miami. Tua threw 3 touchdown passes against Vegas, and now my Super Bowl pick from the AFC has won 2 in a row, and they're 4-6, and they're a game behind. Well, they might be more than a game behind. They're like a game and a half behind the Broncos for a playoff spot. So I got the Dolphins favored by 7. Is that what you show?
10. Or no, not the right game.
7.
Yeah.
Yep.
7.
Okay. So what kind of score are you going with?
Dolphins 20, Patriots 17.
Okay. So you think Drake May will put up a fight? I'm going to be on the different side of the point spread again on another game, but same winner. Dolphins 20 and Dolphins 28, Patriots 20. Okay, another division game.
Bad game for one team.
Yeah, I think so.
Texans, Titans.
So the Titans, I did look at their statistics. They shut down the run pretty well against the Vikings. Aaron Jones really couldn't get going. Their backup really couldn't get going. But their offense, other than one 98-yard pass, they just did nothing against the Vikings. Houston, I didn't write anything down after their Monday night game, but they rolled all over Dallas. That was easy. Joe Mixon, 3 touchdowns. Their defense scored. Don't you think the Bengals miss Joe Mixon? Like the way he's playing for Houston, maybe that's part of why the Bengals defense stinks, but I think they also miss Joe Mixon.
But the Bengals offense is okay.
Bengals offense is very good. Yeah, it's really
Very
good. But they just let Mixon go. They just let Mixon go. Yeah, that's.
It would be probably unstoppable. Well, maybe not unstoppable, but.
Just the way he runs with so much energy, and he really just pumps up the crowd, and he's always doing a wild dance when he scores touchdowns, and it gets the fans real, juiced, and the players get excited about it. He just seems like a real energy guy.
Yeah.
Which you need guys like that.
Happy all the time.
Yeah, and a guy who.
Joyful.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun. This is a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Act like you're having fun. Okay, so the Texans are about 7.5 point favorites, I think.
Yeah, 7.
Okay. How do you see it going down on Sunday in Houston?
I'm making this
A little adjustment.
more of a blowout.
My guess is you're leaning towards C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Joe Mixon, Tank Dell.
Texans 27, Titans 12.
Oh, 12. You think it's going to be 4 field goals, or do you think they might miss an extra point along the way?
Well, I never know.
Yeah, who knows? You're just guessing 12. That'll be, if you get that one right, boy, that'll That'll be a great guess. I'm going to take Houston 24 and Tennessee 13. One more game at noon.
Almost looks like a blowout.
I kind of think so. The way one of those teams is playing, yeah. But what game is it?
Colts Lions.
52-6 against Jacksonville.
Gosh, Lions are good this
You said you watched most of that one?
Yeah.
Goff just dealing. Just
Mm-hmm.
pretty unstoppable. I meant to say, I think Lamar Jackson, now that the Ravens are kind of losing games, the MVP race might come down to Jared Goff and Josh Allen. Because usually they give the MVP to a quarterback, and usually it's to a guy who you got to win your division. I feel like if the Ravens are only a wild card team, I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to get enough support to win the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Goff is playing, wow,
He's just great.
looks unstoppable.
When we play football at school, everyone really wants to be the Lions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the quarterback, do you then say I'm Goff, or do you kind of be Montgomery or Gibbs or?
Gibbs.
Yeah, you're a Gibbs guy because he can catch and run.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Or
Or you're Goff if you're quarterback.
I play quarterback and running back.
Yeah, cool. Those are important positions. And you might not be surprised by this stat, but the Lions now have beaten 3 teams by at least 38 points. And I heard that no team has more than 3 games of that big a blowout. So if they beat another team by 38 points or more, they will have broken a record. Pretty impressive from Detroit. Indy, hey, you saw it because you picked the exact score.
Yeah.
But Anthony Richardson
He had a good game.
he actually led the game-winning drive against the Jets. I think he scored a running touchdown to win it. And believe it or not, the Colts are in the playoff mix. What's their record? 5-6?
Yeah.
The Broncos are the 7th playoff seed in the AFC, and they're 6-5. So the Colts are really just a game back out of the playoffs after playing this quarterback carousel of going Richardson to Flacco and then Flacco back to Richardson.
I mean, I think they could have a better quarterback, but Richardson was playing good.
And you know, he was only a rookie last year.
Mm-hmm.
So usually you don't give up on a guy in just 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna, you know, and maybe he got some of his teammates' confidence back in him. Because remember, like, this is the guy who said, I want out, coach. Like, I need to play off. So the fact that his teammates responded and played well with him back at quarterback, that probably means that he's back as their starter. You know?
Either way, he can just miss a pass right there.
He's capable of that. He does throw a pretty deep ball. And he's so big and so fast that when he runs, he's tough to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He's a handful.
Kind of like Josh Allen.
Kind of. I would say he's like a faster version of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Because he can bruise a guy, he can give the stiff arm, but he can also just run right past him. So Detroit is 7.5-point favorites on the road. I just see the Lions crushing this team. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I have a pretty big blowout, but I think the Colts will get a few points.
I do too.
Not a lot, but a few.
Okay.
Lions 41,
Oh.
Colts 70.
I'm really close to you because I've got Lions 41.
Okay.
I've got Colts 20. So I'm giving them one more field goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're really close on that one. We see the same thing happening. Okay, there are 3 games at 3 o'clock. What's the first of them?
Broncos Raiders.
Man, I should probably take away every bad thing I said about Bo Nix. Bo Nix against Atlanta, 4 touchdown passes, 300 yards, in the win, and they crushed the Falcons. And yeah, you're seeing these? Well, you can get some after the show. How does that sound? Bo Nix was named AFC Player of the Week. Not just AFC Rookie of the Week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Wow.
That's impressive from Bo Nix, a guy who I keep saying, oh, he's not that good, or boy, he played so terribly in this game. Right now, he's got the Broncos in the playoff picture, and he's playing well to boot. That's impressive. Vegas, one of 5 teams in the AFC that has only 2 wins. When these teams played week 5, the Broncos won 34-18.
Mm-hmm.
This game's in Vegas with the Broncos as 5.5-point favorites.
I'm picking Broncos
Yep.
because Raiders are bad.
Okay. I thought you were going to say because of Bo Nix. You almost said it, but you decided no because the Raiders are bad.
Yeah. Broncos 28, Raiders 20.
Okay, I've got the Raiders with 20 also, and I'm going to tell you, I almost picked the Raiders in this game. I wanted to pick an upset, and I struggled with these 3 o'clock games, but I ended up picking Vegas to cover the spread, but not to win the game. So I'm going to say Denver 23 and the Raiders 20. Is that Arrow crying at the door? Wow. Okay.
These dogs are dramatic.
Yeah, really, just drama queens. Okay. Big game at 3 o'clock at Lambeau Field.
49ers, Packers.
Packers. Yep, you can say it. Well, George Kittle missed the game against Seattle. They lost. He missed another game earlier in the year against the Rams, and they lost.
So is George Kittle their MVP of the team?
It seems like they win if he plays, or they're better when he plays. So we'll see. I don't know if he's going to play or not yet. Green Bay, Jordan Love had a really bad interception near the end zone. Did you see that one when they were about to score? And it was Terrell Smith picked it off.
Yeah.
A pretty good return after it, too. Yeah, right in the end zone. But he also threw, every time the Packers dropped back to pass, every attempted pass that Love had, they averaged 14.5 yards a pass.
Wow.
That's just too much. That's too many deep passes. That's too many guys breaking tackles after a short pass. It was not good from the Bears, and Love they passed 17 times. I mean, you're barely even throwing in a game like that, and he had such ease doing it. Will the 49ers present a tougher challenge for the Packers? I don't know.
Is this your upset? Or not yet?
Not yet. I thought, and this one was another one that I thought about really hard. I was like, man,
Me too.
I think the Niners could pull it off, but in Lambeau, and I don't like how the 49ers are playing. They just don't look like the teams of the past.
I think I just have to pick the Packers.
That's kind of where I ended up on this one too.
So yeah, I have Green Bay 28-27. So close game.
I did the same thing. I picked a really close game, and I picked kind of a stupid score. I'm not going to get this score right. I know this, but it's 1 point. I went Packers 25, 49ers 24.
Well, that's
Something, yeah.
interesting.
Strange score. I know. It would require like a 2-point conversion or a safety or something in there. I just think, or maybe a missed extra point somewhere along the line. Probably not going to happen. Your score looks a little more likely, but we've both got 1-point games. Okay, here is the game that the experts think is the closest game of the week, with Arizona, I believe,
this
is only
a pretty good game.
just a 1-point favorite, right?
Yeah. Arizona Cardinals, Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. Arizona's 6-4. They are 1 game ahead of the 5-5 Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. All those teams are just one game behind the Cardinals in the NFC West. Seattle, I don't know if you saw the end of the game at San Francisco.
No, I don't.
Geno Smith, like he wasn't passing that great, and he's not usually that good of a runner.
Yeah.
He had 2 huge runs, including the touchdown on the game-winning drive that gave them a win at San Francisco.
Wow.
That's an impressive win for the Seahawks. Okay, like I said, the Cardinals 1-point favorites, even in Seattle, where their fans will be pretty pumped up for this one.
I don't have a 1-point game.
Okay.
I have a pretty close game. I'm picking the Cardinals 28-21.
Well, this was my upset, and this is the only game we're different on so far this week. Picking winners. I went with Seattle. I was trying to pick one of these 3 o'clock games as just pick an upset, and I settled on this one. I went Seahawks 30, Cardinals 28. So I think it's going to be a fun game. Yeah. So we both had the Cardinals scoring 28 points. Okay, Sunday night. Here are 2 NFC teams. One in really good playoff position. One kind of needs to maybe win their division instead of a wild card.
Yeah. Eagles, Rams.
I don't think I've talked enough about Saquon Barkley, the Eagles running back.
He's so good.
He's been awesome, and now he has more yards than King Henry.
Really?
Rushing this season. Yeah.
That's
So,
good.
because Henry was leading the league for a long time, and I think I told you he was on pace to break the all-time record, and I think he fell off.
Who made the record?
Eric Dickerson, 1984, I believe.
I would
LA
guess like
Rams.
Barry Sanders.
He had a 2,000-yard rushing season one year, which there are probably only 5 or 6 of those where guys ran for 2,000 yards.
Or Emmett Smith.
Sanders was close. I don't think Emmett ever went over 2,000. Yeah, I think the last
Brown?
guy, Jim Brown.
Yeah.
They only played 14 games back in those days. So some of these guys like Barry Sanders and Emmett and other guys, they got the benefit of playing 16 games. Yeah, even Walter Payton, I think maybe his first year they only played, well, no, you know what? I bet Walter Payton always played in a 16-game season. It was sometime in the 70s.
What was his best record?
Rushing yards, I would
Best
guess
season.
somewhere around like 1,800. So not 2,000. But like I say, only about 6 guys have done 2,000. 2 games left. But Saquon Barkley, awesome season. He's in his 7th year in the league, I believe. He played his first 6 for the Giants. But he already through just 10 games, he's got 1,100 yards, which is his 3rd best ever. He's gonna, if he stays healthy, he's gonna have his best season.
Who has Saquon Barkley for
Fantasy?
fantasy?
Ooh, I think Chris Severson. I think.
Well, he's definitely the best player.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because Severson's team has scored a lot of points this year, but they also have lost some games. Just unlucky. He's been really unlucky. So if you look at the points scored, yeah, Barkley, the team that Barkley's on, is doing good. But they would lose like 95 to 94. I think I beat them 115 to 105. So, you know. But Barkley, yeah, he's playing great. He's also got 10 touchdowns, which is the 2nd most he's had ever. And I think he's got a chance to break that record this season. The Rams shook off that loss against Miami on Monday night a couple weeks ago and got a road win at New England, which isn't saying a whole lot, but it's still a road win. It's still a win, and the Rams need to start stacking wins if they want to be serious about the playoffs. The Rams are the home team. The Eagles are favored by 3. If you watch this game, watch on Sunday night and see how many Eagles fans are in the stands, because it's gonna sound more like an Eagles fan crowd, I think.
Really?
The Rams games, a lot of the time, the visiting team will have more fans.
Wow.
It's just, I think Los Angeles is a fun place for visiting fans to go, and I don't think Los Angeles absolutely loves the Rams. So I think there's so much more to do in Los Angeles that they just don't follow their football team as close.
And they probably were watching a lot of the Dodgers.
That could be. And LA is a Dodgers town and it's a Lakers town.
Yeah.
LA Lakers. So the Rams kind of fall somewhere below those teams as far as the fans go. So I said Eagles are favored by 3. What do you suspect is going to happen here on Sunday Night Football?
I actually have a pretty close game.
I went close too.
Eagles 31, Rams 30.
Okay, so you got the Rams covering the point spread. I'm going to give the Eagles the point spread and the win. I'll go Eagles 28, Rams 24. But I do think it's going to be a fun game.
Last game of the week.
Monday night.
Ravens Chargers.
So it's going to be both night games, Sunday and Monday, that are played in Los Angeles in the same stadium. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is now 1 win, 5 losses in his games against Pittsburgh. So the Steelers kind of have his number. The Chargers in that Sunday night game that they played against the Bengals last week.
That was a pretty big blowout.
Well, 34-27.
Oh, my dad told me it was going to be a blowout.
But
I went to bed.
it looked like it, and the Chargers were up 27-6. The Bengals then scored 3 straight touchdowns to make it 27-27. And then the Chargers scored a touchdown with, I think, 30 seconds left to win 34-27. You might not know this, but the 2 coaches of this team are brothers.
Really?
John Harbaugh coaches the Ravens, and Jim Harbaugh coaches the Chargers.
They look like brothers.
Yeah, they are. Yep, and they are brothers. And Jim Harbaugh used to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears back when I was
Was
a
he
teenager.
good for coaching them?
No, he wasn't the coach. He was the quarterback for the
He was
Bears.
the
When I was a
quarterback.
kid, Jim
Was he
Harbaugh,
good?
not good enough. He might have won 1 playoff game against the Saints, I remember, but that was it. So he was not that good. Oh, and we should pick this game, I suppose, before I go talking about Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Ravens favored by 3, do you see?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking Ravens 27-21.
Okay. I'm going to take the Ravens also covering the point spread 31-24. Should I talk about the teams on bye real quick?
Saints.
The Saints are on bye. They've won 2 games in a row.
What's his name? They're tight end, but
Taysom Hill.
yeah, Taysom Hill.
Oh, man.
Great.
He passed, he ran, he caught passes.
I was about to get him on fantasy because I saw that game and I saw it said QB and tight end.
And it's funny because I've made a rule in our league that we can't use him as a tight end.
We can only use him as quarterback.
Yeah. Which we may have to
Is there
reconsider next year.
Is there anyone else that plays 2 positions?
No, see, he's just this weird player where
But he's good.
he's good. It's just tight end is such a horrible position in fantasy for most teams.
Yeah.
That if you have a guy who's like a quarterback for 10, 15 plays, it's almost like cheating to me. It's like you're almost putting a quarterback at your tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have to talk about the Taysom Hill situation in our fantasy league next year because I know your grandpa says I think Taysom Hill should be a tight end. I have a different opinion, but hey, if the rest of the league says we want Taysom Hill to be a tight end, I will listen. Democracy rules in our league. So, do you know any other teams that are on bye? Can you think of any others?
No.
Okay. Atlanta, they got crushed by Denver, but they still are in first place in the South. Buffalo, they're on bye. Huge win against Kansas City. Huge win.
Great.
And now they are within striking distance of the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets, Rodgers, 3-8. They only play 1 team the rest of the year who have a winning record.
Who?
Or wait a minute. They only play one team that has a losing record. I mean, and that's the
Oh.
Jags. So they have a tough schedule coming up.
Wait, they only play them for the
The
rest of the year?
Well, no, what I mean is that the Jets have 6 games left, and the only team with a losing record that they play, so the only easy game they have left, is the Jags. I think every other team they play has a winning record.
So you think they might only be like 4 in?
Maybe. And there was a rumor today that the owner wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers after they lost to Denver.
Wow.
That team is just, there's more drama on the Jets than the Bears.
Good.
And the Bengals, they're 4-7. I think we can kiss the playoffs goodbye for them. And the Jags, 2-9, the worst record in football. Will they fire their head coach?
What the hell?
Jags, 2-9. Will they fire their head coach? They haven't this week, so I think he's gonna come back for their next game. Okay, we probably rambled pretty long there. How do you like your picks this week?
I'm feeling good. We had most of the same.
Sit down, or you're gonna be off the camera, bud.
We have most of the same.
most of the
except for one.
That
right?
big Cardinals Seahawks game, that's going to be the difference for us on who wins the week. So you're on the Cardinals and I'm on the Seahawks, and we'll see what happens. So fun show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking and viewing and all that stuff. So we're having fun with this.
Is this me?
It is.